Hi everyone, my name is Anthony James Hayes. You probably know me from Best from Brothers to Searching, and I'm so honored today that you meet me here. I want to talk about a little bit about my book. The first one I wrote was Journey of the Christians, From Dead Works to Living Faith, my very first book. It's about the story about me, pretty much going through things and how I overcome by the Word of God. And here is The New Kingdom with Liberty Man and Evil Stone. That's my second best book so far. And I want to take a little time to tell you about my second book mostly. The first one is about some children. They go to like an adventure. They go to see a new kingdom, the future, I guess you can say, of God and how He's going to restore the kingdom to Garden of Eden conditions. And they fight good and evil and light and darkness. So I encourage you to actually get these books. They're available on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. And then my second story, Liberty Man, a man who fights for freedom, and he takes off the chains of tyranny, of the kings of tyranny off of him. So he finally gets free, and I hope you find out his journey and how he got free and so on. And then my third book, The Evil Stone, a man who actually turned to the devil, or he sold his soul to the devil for a powerful magic stone. And he had the promise of ruling the world. So I hope you enjoy these books. They're available. And they're family friendly, and there's something you can learn with the Word of God. They're parables that you can teach your children and your grandchildren about. So I encourage you today to go to these places, and I hope you bless and you enjoy these books. Thank you.
You're about to embark on a journey through the written Word of God on subjects that deal with today. This is Brothers Just Searching.
How you doing, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Brothers Just Searching, where we talk about God's Word and current world events to educate and to edify believers of Jesus Christ. I'm Isaac Hayes, along with Anthony Hayes and Bo and Robin. As always, we are your Brothers Just Searching. Guys, what's going on?
Work.
Too much work.
Rain, rain, rain is coming. Get ready for the flood. Noah's Ark will be built today.
We can tell Bowen took his B12 shot.
Yeah. How the joke goes, boys, go for wood.
Yeah.
Go for wood.
I got to get my boys to start hauling the wood so we can build the ark
and so
with all the rain that's coming.
Yeah, we had Ida. Yeah. Now we got Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Yeah,
Nicholas.
Oh, we better get out of the state now.
I think we better leave the country.
My son is not that bad. The storm might be, but... Well, never mind.
I didn't say your son was bad. I never said that.
He messes up everything like a
You better
tornado.
hope they don't have one named Bo, and then you're really going to be scared.
I don't think they'll ever have one named Bowen. I don't think the guys that are thinking of names thought of that yet. You know,
I hope not, because I sure don't want to be here when it comes.
I would laugh if one day we turn on the news and we hear Hurricane Bowen is on his way. I'm like, oh no, they didn't. And
They did not.
We're gonna have to go ahead and make a whole nother podcast dedicated to.
Now they have one called Boogie. Now we'll really be boogieing.
Oh, I tell you what, I'd be scared.
On the eye, you see a sunglass.
Yeah. Boogie.
Well, that'd be something. They have one named Boogie, and then you see it start preaching.
That's when they're gonna say, "We found some technology to stop hurricanes." So, busy week for me. Busy week, guys.
Yeah.
Well, it ain't gonna be too busy now with all that rain coming. What you gonna do?
It's not work. It's ministry and podcasting and everything else.
You see, we need this rain to stop. We're only making $1.
That's $1? I haven't seen one in a while.
Oh, yeah, you use credit card.
Don't forget, they got demons on this dollar.
Bo, you're spoiling it. Boogie's like, man, I gotta change my whole setup now.
I gotta change the whole setup.
I was all happy. You messed me up.
I'll mess you all up.
Well, guys, this is the first time that we're going to be on all our videos and all our audio. Mm-hmm. We decided as a group to go ahead and start releasing on Tuesday nights. Oh. So at 7 o'clock on Tuesday nights, people that are subscribed to is going to see if they hit the bell. You got to hit the bell, of course. You know, if you hit the bell and the bell pops up and shows, hey, you know, Brothers Just Searching is premiering now Everything's going to be done on Tuesday nights. We think that will help us out with our listening ship. It would also give people more time to listen because, like me throughout the day, I even do it our own podcast, and it's sad. I go ahead and I see a premiere, and I say, well, look, I'm going to go ahead and check it out later on, and I never get to it. I'm like, it's 2 days later. I'm like, oh, I forgot to check out my own podcast. It's not that it's bad or nothing. I love this podcast. It's just...
I check it out every time it comes on.
Yeah, but Bo, when you're home at 9 o'clock in the morning,
I'm home at night too sometimes.
you one of them weird individuals that stay up all night and sleep all day.
Hey, he's an owl.
Hey, he does give us a hoot.
I couldn't find a psychiatrist to help me, so not my fault.
The one you went to retired right after you left, huh?
No, he went to the mental hospital. he couldn't retire.
He was thinking there's nothing in that head. There's nothing in that
no,
head.
that's not the point. He was in a straitjacket.
He's cutting Remelo and Francis, that old the mule that was talking to that psychiatrist. He said, "Where's the psychiatrist that got him?" He said he's in a mental hospital.
He's in a mental hospital with a straitjacket on and a padded cell.
And he's trying to eat through the bars.
Nah, but so we're doing that. That's one announcement, and we don't really have that many announcements this time, man. It's just
we're not important no more.
I don't think we ever were that important. I'm just saying,
We were just a little more. Now we're really down.
Nah.
I don't think we were ever important.
Well, look, like I said, we do have a standing announcement, you could say. If you're watching us on YouTube, this is your first time, welcome. We love new people listening in every time we go ahead and put a new video out there. If you like the content you're listening to, hit the bell, hit the subscribe button, and share with a friend. You can find our audio podcast because there's some people that said they'd rather listen to us on their way to work or on their way home. We're on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. If you have not yet subscribed or follow. And again, share with a friend. You can email us if you have any questions or concerns at brothersjustsearchingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can go find us on Facebook at Brothers Just Searching. So, guys, we're getting back to our one statue, five kingdoms. We had to take a break 2 weeks. We had Pastor Brandon came on last week. And then the week before, Boogie had a wisdom tooth pulled out.
Somebody punched me.
Was it for preaching the gospel?
No, it was disturbing the peace.
You were preaching the gospel?
Yeah.
And then,
I was coming against false religion, and a lady punched me. Pow!
yeah. And the two came out
And
3
the
feet
two
long.
came out, and I thank her. I didn't have to pay for no dentist. No, I'm joking.
Hey, you know what I was I was surprised they didn't do that. I thought they was gonna give Boogie laughing gas. That would have been funny.
What you laughing at?
The only problem is they would have gave him laughing gas. They would have never pulled the tooth.
Oh, Boogie would have been laughing too hard while telling Brew Joe and Thibodeau jokes. Anyway, so we're getting back to our our one statue, five kingdoms. We are pulling from Daniel chapter 2, and today, the last 3 times we were on this subject, we talked about the Roman Empire. We talked about the rise of the Roman Empire. We brought out Julius Caesar's. We brought out their battle in Carthage. The second time we was into Rome, we talked about the Bible and Roman history, how it mixed in. We really dove into Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and Paul and Peter and their involvement into the Roman Empire. Then we went ahead and talked about the fall of the Roman Empire, but we dove into Constantine and his mixture of religion. We're probably going to go back to that a little bit tonight.
Yeah.
So after all that, Rome fell, I believe, in 400 some AD, give or take. It was somewhere around there. The Roman Empire lasted for over 500 years. So this is what Daniel told Nebuchadnezzar with his dream. He broke down, and we did it as well. If you want to go listen from the beginning of the head of gold, we talked about Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom and the Babylonian Empire. We talked about the Medes and Persian, under Cyrus, Darius, and all the other kings in that kingdom. We spent a good quality time on Alexander the Great and his successors. Then when we dove into Rome was 3 parts. Because we did Alexander the Greek, the Macedonian Empire, 2 parts, and Rome we deal with it 3 parts. And we're going to be talking about because it was kind of funny how how God showed Nebuchadnezzar and Daniel interpret a dream. He specifically talked about the toe, the feet and the toes, and that is found in Daniel chapter 2, verse 41. And as you saw the feet and the toes, partially of potter's clay and partially of iron, it shall be a divided kingdom, but some of the firmness of the iron shall be in it. But as you saw iron mixed with soft clay, and as the toes and the feet were partially iron and partially clay, so the kingdom shall be partially strong and partially brittle. As you saw the iron mixed with soft clay, so they will mix with one another in a marriage, but they will not hold together, just as iron does not mix with clay. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that tonight. The feet and the toes of iron and clay. So guys, we talked, it's a big jump because when Daniel wrote this, I believe he was in the Babylonian kingdom. So the Medes and Persian didn't come yet. The Macedonian Empire didn't come yet under Alexander the Great, and the Roman Empire wasn't even thought of. They maybe were just starting to make their first entrance as a city of Rome. We talked about that with the founders of Rome and legends and everything. So our benefit now is that we read Daniel and we can talk about Babylon. We can talk about Medes and Persians. We can talk about all the empires that it represented. And this was a lot of people might ask us, well, why did we call it one statue, 5 kingdoms? Should it be one statue, 6 kingdoms? I honestly believe, we're going to dive in there, that the toes and the feet and the toes are part of the Roman Empire. There's a couple of theories around this, and we're going to try to break them all down tonight. One is that this is a kingdom that has not yet happened. And look, if you listen to this podcast long enough, you understand we are influenced by our Jimmy Swaggart Ministries. We follow their ministry. We believe a lot what they believe. We disagree with some of the stuff they do, and because of that, I believe we get attacked by some people because we follow them and we don't follow everything to the T.
Yeah, right.
If you see at our studio, you can see close. We got the Expository Study Bible by Jimmy Swaggart. We got a few books by Jimmy Swaggart. We got commentators, Bible commentaries with Jimmy Swaggart and stuff, and it's research for us. Brother Swaggart believes that this whole 10 toes has not happened yet. That it's in the far distant future. He believes some specks are coming about. He says in his book, in the fall of the Soviet Union and everything has since that 1989 that started the uniting and that bringing up the old Roman Empire. He believes that there's going to be at the old Roman empires where Rome fell. That's when it's going to be revised. That's going to be a revised Roman Empire. I tend to believe that the Roman force did end. The Roman Empire did end, but their system stayed alive through religion. That's why I believe. And Boogie, you talked about this with me one time. The clay represent religion. Iron represent the force of their military.
The politics part.
The politics of it. And that is today. Back in the day, you couldn't be a king, and today you're still like that. You can't be in no royalty whatsoever unless you submit to the Pope.
That's right. Yeah. Also in the Dark Ages, yeah.
Also, and you have to be Roman Catholic to be a king. That's why if you study King James Bible, that's why he started a lot of controversies, because he broke away from the Catholic Church and he said, look, I'm a king and I'm just going to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Then you have a third part where I think you mostly need to book is that it's in a lot of secret societies, and these secret societies are going to bring the world together as one. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about that. And like I said, my thought is the Roman Catholic Church. I believe Revelation chapter 16, 17 is representing the Catholic Church very well. I believe that that they're one of the only religions out there that has purple and scarlet robes, and they do rituals. They have a golden cup in their hands.
You just got to Google it. Matter of fact, if you go Google the bishops and the stuff, they have the color of purple and scarlet.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go look it up, yeah, they all wear purple and scarlet are the colors.
Right. Now, Bowen, I got a question for you because this brought us out. Do you have, when you read these passage scriptures, do you think of anything specific? Do you have a specific theory on it? What is your thoughts on this? Do you have, because me and Boogie, like I said, I think it's the Roman Catholic Church and the Roman system, which I do believe in some things what you say about, you know, as some people might label it conspiracy theories. Yeah. And we know what you believe, but Bowen, what do you believe when you read about the feet and the 10 toes?
Pretty much, the feet and the 10 toes is well, I know the 10 toes would be 10 countries.
Right, yeah, and we all agree with that.
10 different countries. But what would bring them together is the question I ask. Okay? That's what you got to ask yourself. What will bring these 10 countries together?
And see, that's
that's you know, y'all talking about the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, I think, is going to be revived. I think that's going to be, you know, something in the future, in the very near future.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Define the revised, because I understand where people would say, well, this is a revised Roman Empire. Great. I understand where you're coming at. But like me, I don't think the Roman Empire ever truly diminished. No. It diminished.
I'm not saying it. That's not what I'm saying. It diminished. But what I mean by revive, I mean it's going to get stronger as time goes on. Yeah. It's going to become the powerhouse.
Military.
It's going to become the powerhouse. It's going to be militarily strong than any country. It's going to be a strong military. It's going to have a leader that's going to lead it into wars, and it's gonna really lead pretty much everything. Look, you got to look at the Catholic Church as a religion, okay? Look at the Catholic Church, one of the richest religions you got in the world, okay? And Vatican is probably one of the richest places you can go. They got more money than any country in the world, probably.
Well, they are, you know? Countries. See, that's what a lot of people don't realize. The Vatican Hill. And where the Vatican is located is considered a country. It's right. A lot of people say, no, it's in Italy. We understand it's on the continent of Italy, but it is its own country.
It has its own currency. It has its own mailing.
It has everything.
Its own radio station. It has everything. Like a country.
Now, the 10 countries, the 10 toes, I believe that's going to be brought together by Vatican and the Roman Empire.
Well, it already did in a way.
In a way.
Yeah.
But, you know, what you and Isaac were saying a while ago, I was listening to what y'all were saying. I pretty much agree with what y'all said.
Yeah. Because this is where I come with the point, especially when we talked about Constantine in the fall of the Roman Empire in this series.
Yeah.
Constantine saw a vision, and Constantine went ahead and said, look, we're going to make Christianity the official religion of the Roman Empire. Mm-hmm. He went ahead and took, because there was a lot of people in the Roman Empire was like, well, how dare you change this to Christianity? We have gods we serve. We have look, even after Constantine's death, there was one of the emperor that said, we're not going to deal with Christianity. We're going to go back to our old ways. Mm-hmm. But it came back, and that's when it came to the point of them saying, well, look, we're going to take the sun god, we're going to make him Joseph or Jesus, and they start taking a lot of sun worship and doing stuff like that.
Yeah, what he did was he took they call it the mother and child cult, they call it, and they arrived in Babylon. And matter of fact, you'd be shocked how, I just found it out through this, a preacher was preaching on it, and it was one world government. He was saying how, did you know they actually believed in, when Nimrod's wife in her religion, they actually believed in water baptism for salvation?
With Nimrod?
Yes.
Back in Genesis?
Yep, they believed Semiramis, her name was. She actually believed that you were saved through the cleansing of baptism, sprinkling of water. Mm-hmm. And she actually believed in a purgatory.
And we know that.
And nuns, she started nuns as well.
And we know that Nimrod and his wife and even his sons started. If you want more information on that, go look up our episode on sun worship.
Yeah, we get more detail.
We go into a lot of detail on this. You can also look at our teachings on Roman Catholicism.
Excuse me.
It's all right. Roman Catholicism is a false religion. We asked that question. Yeah. And we go into depth with that, but
he just clothed it with Christianity. He mixed Christianity, Judaism, and paganism, sun worship, all mix. That's what he did.
Like a lot of the modern churches does today. A lot of modern churches want to have
he was the first emerging church.
Yeah, well, you can see it, and that's what. And the if you look at the Catholic Church, and if you look at and like I said, that I know we're probably going to get some feedback. We're going to get some people that disagree with us on this, because there's probably a lot more interpretations. I haven't looked at the Roman Catholic Church interpretation of the 10 toes, and like I said, the previous empires we had the benefit; it already happened. We can tell you what happened. This is what we believe is going to happen. We don't. This is more of along of Bible prophecy. I'm studying the book of Revelation right now. I have a book on Daniel and the illustrations of Daniel. I have a book about the rapture, and because the rapture of the church is going to take place, we believe, before all these events happen.
Well,
And
Personally, I think, you're saying the rapture of the church is going to take place. There's a lot of events happening now that, that we're starting to see right now that's coming into play.
And I think that
okay. Well, let me bring it this way. Look at Afghanistan. All right, let's take Afghanistan. Taliban took it over. That's part of Bible prophecy. That is part of Bible prophecy. That's a part of prophecy that's going to come to pass. That was supposed to happen. That's all in the time clock of God's time clock.
Well, everything that happens is in the time.
But that is part of Bible prophecy. Okay.
How specifically is that a Bible?
I don't know. I really haven't got into it, but I've listened to somebody talk about it on my computer. I don't know. I have to go back and look. Then I could tell you more.
Because see, and let's go according to that as well. There's a lot of people that try to fit the U.S. of A.
The U.S. of A. I don't know if the U.S. is even in Bible prophecy.
No, there is not. Where is it at? There is a.
I don't want to get off the subject that you're talking about.
No, I know, but I'm trying to find. Brother Swagger said something about how some people say that the U.S. of A is in Bible prophecy because if you read Jerusalem, there's U.S. of A in the middle of Jerusalem.
No.
And look, don't get me wrong. We talk about Bible prophecy. We give y'all our thoughts and our opinions. But there is some people out there that they try to fit.
Have a lot of opinions.
They try to fit everything that happens. Let's just say like this: Donald Trump, let's say Joe Biden, because Joe Biden's the president right now. Joe Biden can go ahead and stump his toe with a like somebody can roll over his toe with a truck.
Yeah, I know.
And somebody's gonna say, "Hey, that's Bible prophecy." Yeah. And you're like,
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but
Yeah.
the thing.
And I'm not saying though. See what they say because that's the first I've heard of that.
Well, I heard it somewhere. I'd have to go back and listen to it again.
Right.
I didn't listen to the whole thing, but from what he was saying, it's like he was fitting it into Bible prophecy. He might be wrong what he's saying. Yeah. I don't know. I have to study on it. I have to look at it.
Sure, if you look at, I think it's Ezekiel or one of them, when they talk about the countries that will come against Israel in the last days.
Afghanistan's one of them.
No. What he's talking about mostly is like Egypt and Libya and Sudan and Ethiopia, places like that for sure will be or are mentioned. So
right,
and Iran even.
Hey, but back to the topic of the let's talk about the feet for a second because
I don't know.
Well, well, see, that's the thing, and we were supposed to have a guest here tonight with us, and me and him was talking about Bible prophecy a few days ago, and we came to the point. Look, I'm firm believer in a lot of things. He believes firmly in some other things, but we both came to Bible prophecy. You got to be flexible on.
Yeah.
Well,
because, it's good. History of the Bible is real good. You can go ahead and look. This happened. This fits Bible prophecy. But Bible prophecy in itself, the things that have not happened yet. And look, don't get me wrong. And there's gonna be some people. You can't be too flexible about the rapture and this. And I understand all that. There's some things you got to be firm and you got to agree with on.
Yeah.
Or Bible prophecy don't fit.
Right.
But on the other hand, I could be wrong on a lot of things that I believe in.
Right.
And that's the thing about Bible prophecy. Bible prophecy has not come to pass yet.
Right. Some of it, yeah.
Some of it has not happened. The latest thing that happened was in 1948 when Israel became a nation. That was one of the last biggest prophecies, according to the way I believe. The rapture is the next big event to come up.
That's what a lot of people say. And
then if you read Luke, I think it's Luke. No, not Luke. Is it Luke 16? I think it might be Luke 16. In Mark, and then if you read in Matthew, especially Matthew 24. I believe a lot of this stuff is birthing pains, or it's prepping us to go to have this time of great tribulation.
Well, we want the folks to realize too that the Roman Empire was wounded. Because if you read, most people believe that's its interpretation. Remember when it said the beast was wounded,
Right.
but his fatal wounds were healed?
Right.
Some people say it's the Antichrist that was assassinated and he was raised from the dead. It could be, but other people believe it was the Roman Empire. Because the beast actually summarizes the one world government and the Roman Empire together.
Yeah, and
People don't realize it is the one world government. It's the Antichrist's kingdom. And it represents the kingdoms of the Roman Empire.
And like I said, though, and cause we're talking about the feat itself, because
Yeah.
we're about to get into the 10 nations.
I'm using that as an
Right.
example to show that, yeah.
In that point, though,
Mm-hmm.
the feat mixed with clay, it does make sense that one would represent Rome. And see, that's why I tell people. A lot of people say, "Well, why didn't y'all?" That's the fifth kingdom, not the sixth kingdom. Well, hold on, no, that's part of the fourth kingdom.
Yeah.
Because if you study Daniel 2 and you look at everything else, Daniel 2 always, or even in the whole book of Daniel, always compares that last kingdom with the little horn, or
the Antichrist
with
coming out of
the
that
Antichrist coming out of that. So when it mentions iron, that means it's part of the Roman Empire, but clay mixed in. That's why we say religion, and that's where, because you had that, like I said, the Roman Catholic Church through the Dark Ages and through rule.
They ruled the kings. Yeah.
They ruled kingdoms. They ruled nations. They did all. They fought it. The Roman Catholic Church fought William Tyndale.
Yes.
They fought Martin Luther. And they fought the great Reformators.
Yeah.
Through the Reformation.
Yeah.
So they fought for us not to have the Bible.
Oh, yes, definitely. And the
And
language, yeah.
They're doing it today. Look, a lot of people ask about Bible translations. Look, I read King James and I read ESV.
Right.
Those two are probably the closest to my studies, I feel. But you know how many Bibles were influenced by Roman Catholic priests and Roman Catholic Jesuit priests? The NIV is one of. A lot of things are taken out of it.
Dewey Reams is a Jesuit Catholic Bible.
So you get what I'm saying? There's a lot of translations out there that the Roman Catholic Church is trying to steer us away from the true Word of God. Now, you might ask, well, what is the true Word of God? Because that's a topic we can have. We already had one on Bible translations.
Well, that's a topic you don't want to get into.
Right. So, but that's why I think that's the feat mainly. But throughout the years, it has, because a lot of people don't understand that the Catholic Church was very influential
for a long time.
In World War II. A lot of the wars in book. Let's start going on your side of it, because, like I said, that does kind of tie. That's what I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
But I am, like I said, I'm flexible on that, because you believe that a lot of secret societies, which a lot of them do tie into the Roman Catholic Church as well.
Yes, they do.
So what is your thought of the mixture of the feet and clay and with these secret societies?
Well, let's go to the Roman Empire itself. See, most people don't realize that the Roman Empire never died. If you look through history, like for example, when the last Roman emperor, the last Roman emperor was taken out of his power when the Germanic tribes took over, and he was sent back. He was just a boy, so they sent him to live out his days in peace. When the German king, the German king took over Italy, not the Vatican, the Senate. The Roman Senate was still in operation for a long time. So that's just one of the signs. Even they didn't have an emperor no more. Now they had kings, but part of the government still functioned. People don't realize that. And then as time went on, Rome got divided. Italy, the continent of Italy, was divided up into different sections. Like they had each one, like Venice had its own kingdom, and one of them was actually the Papal State. The Vatican actually had their own land. It was called the Papal State land. It was actually called. They had it for a long time. But the reason why I'm going to mention that, because we will go back to it during the time of World War II, for example. But my whole point is Roman Empire, it never died. It wounded. If you look through European history, there was always Caesars, Roman Caesars, or Caesars behind European leadership. If you look at, she
wanted to talk, boy. Anyway, go ahead.
If you look at in the Dark Ages, Charlemagne, he was a great. He was not Roman or Italian, but when he was crowned by the Pope, he was crowned Roman Emperor. people Charlemagne, Holy Roman Emperor, because the Holy Roman Empire, he actually made the Holy Roman Empire, so he was known as the Holy Emperor. You notice that?
Couldn't he be?
Yeah.
Because the Catholic Church would say, well, Peter was the first pope.
Right.
Do you consider him to be the first pope?
Who?
The Holy Emperor.
No. The Pope was always the first. Peter was always the first Pope,
according to
Catholic teaching.
No, but could that emperor, or they already had a pope before him?
No, they had a Pope. No, he was not even Pope. He was just a king. He was crowned as king.
I got you.
Yeah, he was crowned as Holy Roman Emperor. And then what happened was, under the Renaissance, I think on the Charles V, Roman Empire had its zenith at the time, and then Napoleon, most people don't realize Napoleon, the one who conquered Europe, and Napoleon, he actually, the dictator over France, he actually crowned himself Roman Emperor. And matter of fact, when the Pope was actually, the Pope was there, when the Pope was about to put the crown on his head, he actually took the crown away from the Pope, and he crowned himself, and they believed he crowned his queen or whatever. So, but if you look it up, he did made himself emperor, and that's the same spirit, and that is from the old Roman Empire. France was one of the biggest parts of the Roman Empire, so he made himself emperor. And then if you look in World War I, I believe, was Tsar Nicholas and Kaiser Wilhelm, they actually, if you look at their names, it actually means Caesar.
Okay.
So there's some people point that's another, but the biggest point, really, well, two biggest points we're about to come to, is when Italy joined under Mussolini, the dictatorship and the fascism with Mussolini, he tried to create the Roman Empire. He did it a little different. He went take over Ethiopia and other places, and I think maybe Libya and Egypt maybe for a little while. But he actually made himself an emperor. He actually said that he was an emperor. So, matter of fact, if you see pictures, they actually have Mussolini right in front of, I think, Caesar Augustus or one of the Caesars. So he was like identifying himself as a Caesar.
And of course, Mussolini came from Italy.
Exactly. He was Italian, and he said, they said, I'm linked with the Caesars. He actually made himself like a Caesar. So the Roman Empire never died. And then if you look at his, the iron, they call that, it was like an iron bars and had an axe in the middle that symbolized the authority of Rome. And he used that in this fascism, and that was a symbol of authority in Rome. And he actually named the Mediterranean Ala Mastro, meaning our sea. So he was trying to revive the spirit of the Roman Empire. And then he actually signed an accordance with the Vatican. See, what happened was, most people don't know that, but the Pope actually supported Mussolini when he was in his rise to power. He told the Catholics, "Look, go vote for Mussolini." So many Italians listened to the Pope and said, "Oh wow, the Pope supports Mussolini, so we're gonna go vote him as the prime minister." And so the king who was over the country said, "Okay, we're gonna make you the prime minister." So what he done was,
by the endorsement of the Pope,
yes,
it caused a lot of trouble.
but he paid the Vatican back. He said, "Well, I'm gonna make them a state, their own country, where the law is still in effect today." And so they had their own currency. He made them to pay them back, so they had their own territory. Italy today, the country of Italy cannot mess with them. United States, any country in Europe or any country in the world cannot mess. Like, pretty much, they can't go in there and arrest anybody. They have to be proved by the bishops.
They got to be extradited.
Exactly.
Extradited
so they got to go talk to the Pope, or they got to go send messages to the bishops, and then the bishops got to decide if that certain individual is guilty or not.
Hey, then you got to look at because, like you said, we're talking about. Well, I was asking about secret societies, because that does fit
it's getting into that. Yeah.
But look how much influence the Roman Catholic Church had on World War II, because you said they went ahead and helped Mussolini get in. Mm-hmm. There's some pictures of Hitler coming out of Catholic churches, and a lot of people say, "Well, that's propaganda." That he was influenced.
Well, he was actually influenced by a secret society called the Jesuits. And you see, a lot of people don't realize that Hitler actually said it. He said, "These are one of the groups that actually taught me everything I needed to know." Was the Jesuit society, and then Hitler was also part of the Tool Society. It was like a masonry type group. And matter of fact, they believe that's where he got his swastika at. Because if you look at their symbol, I think it's a sword, and then behind it is a swastika.
Wow.
So a matter of fact, they were all, if you look at all the leaders from World War II, Hitler was in the Tool Society, President Roosevelt, and the President of England at the time, Churchill, and Stalin, they were all Masons. They were all part of secret societies, almost all of them.
So let's just say this, book.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Even in your thoughts of secret societies,
yeah,
the Roman Catholic Church is still involved behind it.
Oh, most of them, yeah. Like, for example, one of the Illuminati groups. See, there's different. I didn't know that until watching a video a while back. There's actually a bunch of Illuminati groups. There's actually even one that was started in Afghanistan. I did not know that. But in Europe, there was a bunch. What happened was these groups, these Illuminati groups, one of them is Catholic. Matter of fact, one of them was started in Spain. And matter of fact, Lacius Loyola, the one who started the Jesuit order, he was actually part of the Illuminati in Spain. And some people believed it was still part in the Jesuit order or the branch. So there's a lot of, there's not this Adam Weishaupt and the Bavaria in Germany one. People just mostly focus on that one. But not realizing during this day when it was formed, they actually, some went to Russia, some went to Germany, some went to France. They had pretty much what I'm trying to say is they had different groups as well that started independently, or some that started from the branch with him, and they just went off and do their own stuff in other countries. So these secret societies, I believe they still exist, but they what they do is their goal is a one world government to revive the Roman Empire, and their goal is to make it a utopia on the earth. What their goal is to eliminate the church and the government as we know it. Other words, how can I explain? Like Bill Clinton, Secretary of State, or one of them said one time, nations as we know it will be obsolete. All nations will recognize a single global authority. So their goal was to destroy countries, borders, countries as we know it, and to make new countries, or to make a one world government, make them part of a new world.
And it kind of fits. Now, this is going to my political side. But
yeah.
Look what's happening at the southern border right now.
Yes, well, that's why.
And you know, the thought process of, hey, let's just go ahead and tear down all our borders.
Yeah, it's a government thing.
You saw this a while back. Remember, the euro was very upset at England about 2-3 years. I think
and they broke away for a little while.
They still broken away. They still gotta mess with the euro for currencies to get supplies in, because you got to realize Germany and all the other European states have the euro currency, but Britain went ahead and broke away from it and said, look, we're going to have our own currency and everything.
Right.
But that's what they were trying to do with Europe, and you can still do that in a lot of Europe. You can go into Germany without a passport. You can go into all these places besides like the United States, where you can't go over Mexico without a passport now. You can't go to Canada or nothing. If you're a felon if you do, and you're supposed to do that with our state. But the president of the United States is Catholic right now, and he's trying to say, well, look, let's open up all the borders. Let's go ahead and do all this. And that's probably a lot of their part of the secret societies that they... Bowen's rearing up. You got something. But that's probably part of their plan.
Yeah.
You're talking about passports.
Yeah.
I listened to my brother, that podcast that he did last night, that third part. New York came out with a passport.
Really? Wow.
There's another state that he talked about that came out with a passport, and it all has to do with control of the people. In other words, they giving out passports. You're gonna have a passport in certain states. Your license, like your driver's license and things like that, that's not gonna be accepted. It's gonna have to be a passport.
Wow.
Well, they're moving to a part, and that's where a lot of this
is the thing. This is the thing. It's about control.
Yeah, and
it's about control. Listen, he said something last night, and I don't want to say it the way he said it, but I'm going to say it this way. Everything that you see going on right now is to get the people used to one thing, is to receive the mark of the beast.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I agree.
Okay, this is the thing. All right, listen to what I'm going to say, because it's very important. And I agree with what he said. He said so much last night. I'm gonna have to listen to it again, but it was so
I'm
interesting.
gonna have to listen to it. Well, we can say it. It's Brother Daniel's podcast.
He said the pandemic that we're in right now. He said it's not finished. He said they have the names. They came out with all these names, but he said it this way. He said they have other names. They got a new one already that they're gonna come out with.
Terrence Williams, Graham Allen, and like I said, this is my political side and my political sources I pick up from. They're already coming up with something called the move variant. See, we had the
but this COVID-19 thing is not going away.
That's what I'm trying to say. You had the Delta variant. Where everybody's
not going away.
Now they have a Mo variant.
Yeah,
they're already saying they might have another variant come out. And it's look, I'm going to make this statement right here. I don't believe the vaccination is the mark of the beast.
It's getting people the idea. It's to see how people are going to react when it comes time for that.
I agree with you.
The government wants to get the people under their control. That's why they're pushing this vaccination so much. Listen, there's some states that are pushing it to the point right now. If you don't have a vaccination shot, you can't go into a supermarket. You can't go into a doctor's office. You can't even go to work. That's how bad they're pushing it. New York is pushing it like that now.
And look, let's go according to the mandate that the president has done a few days ago. No, this new, and I know we're getting off subject. We're going to get back on it, but this is proving to what we're about to talk with the Tintos, and so because we mentioned the Amero, we mentioned the Euro. Well, we didn't mention the Amero yet, but we mentioned the Euro.
Not yet.
What they're doing is if you're a company that have 100 or more employees,
you're gonna have
to get the vaccination. You have to take weekly shots,
right?
And he's saying this is constitutional. It is not constitutional.
It's not constitutional.
And look. Let's just say it like this: if you want to hear more into detail of what the president has done, go check out the Cajun Conservative. Joe Biden declares war on the unvaccinated. Which I've done on the Cajun Conservative.
I've done looked that up already.
Well, I made one a few days ago. I made one yesterday, and it came out.
He's declaring war right now on millions of people that haven't been vaccinated.
But that's going back to this thing, though, what we was talking about, because we mentioned the Euro.
Right.
They want to tear down the Mexican border for first off, I believe it's for votes, but secondly, it is to bring the Amero in. It's already been signed into law. They just haven't enforced nothing yet. That's why, see, a lot of people, and that's where I kind of disagree with Brother Swagger on, and I'm studying still. When you talk about the Tintos, let's go into the Tintos because of secret societies.
Right.
They're trying to go ahead, and people are saying, well, just the revised Roman Empire, that's going to split up into 10 countries. No, I don't believe so. I believe that there is a way you can split up, because they say one person told me it's impossible to split up the world to 10.
No.
You serious? With these corrupt people we got, they can do whatever they want.
Well, listen, right now, in one of the secret societies they have, it's called the Club of Rome. That's one of the biggest groups they have. And they said under the Club of Rome, they actually divided the world into 10 sections already. It's on paper already. The law has not been passed,
that's where I see, because like I said, I've read Brother Swagger's Bible prophecies, and there's some things I do disagree with. I'm not gonna be ashamed of it. I'm gonna say it on this podcast, especially about these 10 regions. Like you said, if they already split this up into 10,
they did.
He said the Antichrist is gonna come close to taking over the whole world.
Yeah, he would not, but he'll come close. Yes,
I think these 10 countries, because remember there is in Daniel that there is going to be 3 countries or 3 of these 10 countries that's going to revolt, and he's going to have to go ahead and take care of these 3 countries.
Exactly.
I think the Antichrist, and you're talking about the Antichrist, and I kind of believe that. Maybe I'm wrong for believing that way, but I think the Antichrist is going to mainly control like the Middle East, where Israel.
I don't disagree with that. I believe these 10 countries are going to be separated into the whole world.
I believe that. Look, but what I'm saying is, like Boogie says, he don't believe the Antichrist is going to control the whole world.
No.
That's not. I mean, but you got to realize they're going to be. Look, let's go back to this vaccination thing. If the government's upset because 80 million Americans haven't taken it yet.
Man, I'm not taking that vaccination shot. Well, they're going to have to put me in the shooting line and shoot me, bruh. I'm going to die. I don't care.
Anyway.
Feed me to the lions. It don't matter. I'm not taking that stupid shot.
But that's where it's come to the point. There's going to be people out there that are fighting. They're fighting the vaccination. They don't want to. That's how it's going to be with these 10 nations. You know how many citizens, especially America, we already got people that are diehard patriots We have, look, like I said, with this
I'm a
vaccination
diehard patient too.
But you get what I'm saying, though? There's going to be people that say, well, no, we like our freedoms. You can't tell us what to do. You can't tell us how to do it, when to do it. So they're going to go ahead and they're going to revolt. I think that's going to be a lot of the countries.
There will be people who's going to fight the one world government.
Well, they're already now. And
Yeah.
that's what I say. A lot of people might say, oh, that's all conspiracy theories. No, a lot of this is coming from Bible
Well,
prophecy
well,
picking up. And look, we already tied a knot through the Roman Catholic Church.
Before we say this, I'm going to say something that I heard a minister say one time, and he's right. Because he dealt a lot of with Illuminati's and stuff, and a lot of people told him, "Well, that's conspiracy." He said, and watch." He said something, and he shut him up when he said, "He said, let me ask you a question. Do you believe Satan uses people?" Well, yeah. He was talking to Christians.
Yeah.
He said, like Judas. You think the devil? You think that was conspiracy? That was conspiracy. What happened with Judas and the devil? But Satan used Judas.
Yes.
So before we say no, because there's a lot of times I study a lot of history. Like, for example, Columbus discovering America. But when you dig it, you realize he's not the first European or the first one to come. So before, because you say, well, I learned it in school, or I heard saw this.
I don't care where you learned it.
Or I learned this on TV. It's conspiracy. Hold on, you better dig before you be shocked to know how much it is true. Now, some of it. Some people
there's some things way out there.
Yeah, some people go a little too crazy, and I think, but at the same time, these groups, they are used by the devil. They are being deceived, like the Illuminati. People's like, well, this group don't exist no more. No, it filtrated through the Masons. People don't realize that they joined a contract together, and they actually filtrated through the Masonry, and they were not just in Germany; they were all over Europe. So even Adam Weishaupt was actually protected by Illuminati prince. So they're not gone. They're not, in Washington. I'm going to shock people for they say, well, this is a conspiracy. They don't exist. Did you know George Washington wrote about them in his letter? He was in retirement. When he left out the army, he was in retirement. But then he got back because the Illuminati was trying to take over America. So he wrote letters saying, I know the Illuminati is trying to take over America.
Oh, yeah, I believe
he has
that.
a letter. I was hearing a woman there, and I was watching a program, and that one woman, a guy was talking. They had a woman, she was talking about that.
Man on Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, YouTube.
they had a woman, they had a man, he was showing like letters like the Illuminati, like George Washington wrote a letter about the Illuminati. One lady's like, but he wasn't talking about the Illuminati. Duh, he mentioned the Illuminati. He mentioned secret societies. That's just people, they've been brainwashed to think that's conspiracy. That's not true. So I believe Satan got his people out there. And there's not just the Illuminati Masons. I mean, there's the Club of Rome. There's the Table Society, they call them. The Tool Society. There's a bunch of societies. So it's not
Demon
just...
Society.
Yeah. There's a lot of groups, too.
Well, the devil's doing a lot in his power.
Yeah.
Which... is fulfilling Bible prophecy, but there's a lot of things that the devil's doing to try to line up and to get souls lost for the kingdom of God.
Exactly.
Like, we're trying to win souls, he's trying to lose. He's trying to take souls with him to hell. That's basically what he's doing.
But he got them deceiving. He got these globalists. That's what they are. He got them deceiving, thinking they could bring paradise on the earth, or they can rebuild paradise. But you can't rebuild a society, because that was Illuminati's dream. Weishaupt and all these Illuminati people, that was their dream. Like, we're going to create a utopia on the earth where everybody's equally got wealth. Does that sound familiar? The communists and socialists believe that.
That's what I believe. I believe that's what that's all leading to. They want everybody to have the wealth. They want everybody to be equally distributed.
Yeah, that's what communism got us philosophy.
That's what it does.
So we can all agree that we feel that This kingdom the Roman Empire never died, really.
It never died. Matter of fact,
and it is hiding behind a lot of these societies to get they're pushed to, and when the Antichrist is going to come up into play. Yeah. And look, we can do
the Jesuits. It's hiding behind that too.
It's behind it. Yeah, Catholic Church is behind that. Yeah.
Look, we're just scratching the surface on this. We really don't have the time to really dig into everything on this.
Oh no, there's a big
because you got to realize.
Let's go look it up on YouTube. They talk all about that.
Well, it's just not that book. It's this too. It's about Bible prophecy to begin with. Because look, between that time and like I said, we believe the rapture is going to happen before. And before I get any post trippers out there and saying, "Wait, prove to us that where's the rapture of the church?" Look, that's for another debate at another time. And just for your information, the church is not mentioned in the Bible. The church is not mentioned in the book of Daniel, and the rapture is not mentioned in the book of Daniel. So don't try to prove it to me. It's not in there.
Right.
But we believe the rapture is going to happen. That's when the 7-year tribulation is going to happen, and the Antichrist is going to come. He's going to set up these 10 kingdoms. He's going to go into Israel and say, I am God. Jews is going to fall behind, and these 10 kingdoms are going to be set up by a entity, by a religious system, and that's why I believe the revised Roman Empire is going to come. Because, I asked you a question earlier because it separates. I believe that's when the Eastern and the Western Orthodox Church separated.
Yeah, the Catholic Church in the West and the Orthodox Church in the East.
So I believe that was part of this prophecy.
That too.
And I honestly feel that this isn't just 300 or 400 years apart of an empire. This has been lasting for over 2,000 to 1,500 years of history.
Well, people got to realize the religious part, like the Christian religious part of Rome and the Orthodox Church, they survived. They're still down today.
Yeah,
it's just the political structure that was destroyed, or the empire itself. The land and the structure was destroyed. It fell, and then now it's going to be reborn again.
Yeah, and that's where these 10 emperors are going to come. It's going to help. I honestly believe, and look, a lot of people was wondering where the Antichrist is going to set up his rule. It's probably going to be either in Rome or it's going to be in Jerusalem, because remember he got to go into the temple and defile the temple, and you got excuse me, you got a lot of questions that you can ask, but. The 10 toes is representing these 10 kingdoms. Yeah. And look, the book of Daniel, Daniel 8, Daniel 9, Daniel 10, all of that is, excuse me, they go into more detail. Like I said, I'm studying the book of Revelations now. So there's a lot of things you can go on with it. Right. But there is, like I said, these societies are going to help. And I think we proved tonight that a lot of these societies are backed by the Roman Catholic Church.
But, well, this is the thing we got to realize, too. Because part of it is being fulfilled, the Roman Empire, like the 10 toes and stuff, the political part. Because after World War II, it was actually developed. If you look at the EU, that's what it's called. What happened was after World War II, Europe was totally destroyed.
It was
Germany. Yeah, you look at the thing. Germany was destroyed.
Russia halfway was destroyed.
Europe was in trouble.
London.
Yeah, London was bad. Spain. So what they did was they said, how about let's just join together so we can strengthen our economy. So that's one of the reasons why the European Union was started. But I think, because I believe the Roman Catholic Church and the Vatican was behind it, because if you look at the flag of the European Union, it's a blue flag, unless it changed. But my memory serves me right, it's still the same. It's a blue flag, and it has stars in the middle. That came from the Virgin Mary. Because if you look at pictures, if you were a Catholic or ex-Catholic, if you look at the pictures of Virgin Marys, and I've seen many of them because we Catholic.
Yeah, we have a Catholic area.
If you look, the stars that's behind the Virgin Mary, it fits exactly with the star of the EU. And it is a Catholic project. It's a Vatican project. And the Jesuits, they believe, Jesuits are one of the secret societies, and it's a Catholic society is one of them that's actually pushing it. So you can see that the religion part and the political part
are playing it.
Yeah.
They push it more than anything.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's to help. And matter of fact, when they signed the thing, guess where they were? They were one of the Rome sits on what? 7 hills, right?
7 hills, right.
It was one of the 7 hills that they actually signed it. And one of them, I don't know if it was then or it was a couple of years ago, I think it was Britain's, when he was one of the Britain prime ministers were there, he was signing something about the EU. He was writing the statue of a pope.
Wow.
I think it was Gregory, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. And like I said, we just scratched the surface. I know you had more stuff lined up.
But that is the idea of showing how, in some ways, the Roman Empire never died. We've proven that through history, and it actually the Roman Empire itself really came alive.
In a nutshell, there's going to be
growing yet.
The Roman Empire mixed up with a religion, and which is like I said, no one can deny that the Roman Catholic Church started from Rome, the Roman Empire.
Exactly,
and I believe it's still alive today. And the 10 toes, because you talk about 10 toes. I honestly feel that the Roman Catholic Church is going to influence those 10 countries, which they're influenced country now, and when these are 10 nations, and like I said, you can go, because this is just a small peek at it as well. Daniel probably didn't know what these 10 toes really meant, and the feet in the 10 toes, because if you look at it, he was revealed a lot more stuff later on in his life.
Right.
I think was he like 70 years old when he saw the 70 weeks of Daniel. So Daniel had a lot of Daniel progress as you read Daniel. It progresses to more, and it's there's a lot going on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. But in a nutshell, all this is probably going to happen during it's going to escalate into the Great Tribulation period when the church is gone and when all this goes back to Israel because. You got to remember, right now we're in that period of, you could say, the church age. God's time clock is paused right now.
Yeah, but
and when that time clock restarts, there's going to be a lot of stuff unfolding.
Yeah, we getting close to that time period, I think.
We're getting close to Jacob's
Yeah, well, the
trouble.
Lord's coming back soon. The Lord's coming back real soon.
We are getting close to that time period.
Well, I want to let people know something. Because I don't want to get too much in the political part, but you will not understand a lot of things that's going on right now if you don't understand the one world government. See, a lot of these people, a lot of our politicians, no matter if they're in Europe, no matter if they're in Asia, no matter where they're at, even in America, their loyalty is not to their countries. Yeah. They might go in, like, for example, our politicians, no matter if they're Republican or Democrat, a lot of them will go like holding the flag, or they'll like put their hands. I'm not saying they are not American. I'm not saying they have some American values because they lived over here, but really their loyalty really is for the one world government. And the thing is, what people don't realize, that is going to come first. Their loyalty to the one world government. Like one of the politicians said that. I think it was John F. Kennedy's brother that said that.
Ted Kennedy?
Yeah. He said that we will be judged, the way we do our politics, or the way we do things, we'll be all judged how we built the New World Order.
Wow.
And matter of fact, John F. Kennedy actually mentioned societies.
I don't know about Donald Trump, but I know every president has endorsed it. I even think Joe Biden has endorsed it in his time as a senator about coming to being a one world order. So this is showing that these 10 toes are going to be the world being separated into 10 individual countries instead of being.
It's coming into play.
Yeah, and if people think that this one world government is a conspiracy, go look up Bush's daddy.
Bush 40.
Just go press up George Bush
41.
and his speech of the one world government. That's all you gotta do. And
like you said, that's a Republican, so it really don't matter.
It don't matter. Well, but for example, when President Bush Senior or with President Junior,
Bush 41.
Yeah, the second Bush.
He said that on TV.
43.
Yeah.
It was on TV when he said
it. Was during the time of the Gulf War. But the thing is, if you look at the two candidates, Bush and I think it was Kerry. Not
they didn't call it the one world government. They called it a one world order. That's what they called it at that time.
When Bush and Kerry was running, did you know both of them was in the Skull and Bones? Both of them. And Kerry's a Catholic.
Yeah, and then you have, because we talked about the Bohemian Grove, I think a lot of that's tied into...
Well, they all involve in religion. They're all a part of... They're in some occult. They're in some religion, one form and a way. And it's just amazing how one's Catholic and he's an Illuminati. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought the Catholic Church was not supposed to be a part into secret societies. And so what a Catholic is doing in an Illuminati, a satanic group. So it shows you that religion, it plays into the one world government.
And let's sum it up to this, because I know we have friends that are Catholics that listen to us right now. And they might be feeling, well, you're attacking the Catholic Church.
No.
Like you just said, it don't matter what the system is, they will have a religious...
pushing the one world government.
Yeah, pushing, like, this is what we believe. If you have a difference of opinion, contact us, and we'll look at your opinion. We even bring it out on air.
The thing is, people need to understand, it's not just the Catholic Church. You got all kind of churches joining into that right now.
Oh yeah.
This is the thing, and I know we're about to wrap it up, and we're gonna have to do a teaching on Revelation 16 and 17 to give people our view on that. But the way that this is said, what they call the Roman Catholic Church, the mother of all churches, or the mother of the world, or whatever they call it.
Mother of harlots.
Well, do you know that, I think, I can't think of all the prosperity preachers say that we got to go back to our mother church.
That's what they call it.
And that's that's why I say that I feel that this religious system that came from the Romans, from the Roman Empire, was the Roman Catholic Church, and that is what the devil is using to go ahead and bring everything into play with these 10 countries. And that's where I honestly feel that the toes mixed with clay is that in them 10 nations, it's in Bible prophecy.
Look at your churches today, though. A lot of them are tied in with that.
Look at Todd White, and see, a lot of people might ask why we pick on Todd White. Well, Todd White had a priest,
not just Todd
and
White.
Evangelist.
There's more than just Todd White that's tied into it, dude.
Kenneth Copeland,
Jesse, they all tied into that stuff.
Well, look, I'm gonna make some people upset. And look, I know a lot of people that love the Gaithers. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that I know that will condemn contemporary Christian music, but talk highly of the Gaithers. The Gaithers are into that. Well, it don't matter what religion you are.
No,
you can go ahead and ecumenicalism. And look, there's some songs I listen that have good meaning. That with the country music, they have good meaning, whatnot. But look, let's go according to even contemporary. I'm gonna use that against me. Florida Georgia Line is teaming up with Chris Tomlin to do some projects. Florida Georgia Line wrote all kind of dirty music. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what is this Christian doing with Florida Georgia Line? The Gaithers, like I said, you know how many country artists are going on the Gaither homecoming and singing?
Yeah.
These people, but it's all tied into.
It's all tied in.
You got to realize there's two things that the Antichrist got to have. He has to have a one world government, the political side, and a one world religion, and a one world economy. So this is all together. The economical thing. All it is one world government church. It's getting all the churches under one tent and to push the one world government. Satan is lying to these people, thinking if we get all the churches together and we we just make one big happy one world government family, we have peace and prosperity, and we'll be all wealthy.
And that's what we're going to talk about next week, because there's that fifth kingdom which is going to rule all the other kingdoms.
That's the Lord's kingdom. It's going to
break down this statue. And that's going to be the Lord's kingdom. We're going to talk about that next week. So, But good conversations, guys. Hey, that's some good food for thought. And if you have any questions, again, email us, brothersjustsearchingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can send us a message on Facebook at Brothers Just Searching. While you're there, like the page. And also, hey, the comments are there for a reason on YouTube. Go ahead and comment. All we ask is please be respectful. Give us your opinion. Please don't be mad. Please don't be rude. And look, I'm going to give you front of me and LB are having a tough time with trolls. That's all I'm going to say. There is some people that are commenting on our videos that have dirty minds, let's say it like that, and we have to delete people. Oh, wow. So if we feel that your comment is rude or not respectful, you will be deleted. I'm just being blunt. But anyway, if you have any, because we're probably going to raise some eyebrows with this episode. Yeah. But hey, God's all good, and look, we're willing to talk with you. We're willing to show you our opinions. You can give us ours. We have listeners that came on this program because they contacted us. So, but very good conversation, and we're going to be back next week. So. Y'all excited or what? This series is narrowing down. We're finally coming done.
Finally coming to the end.
You remember when we originally talked about it? Like 5 episodes.
5 episodes.
What episode we on right now? I think 8, huh? 8, 9 of the series.
Yeah.
8 episodes.
And then we didn't cover everything.
Yeah, we didn't cover everything because, man, how much we've learned. In this, a lot. We got to give it to our boy Nate Savage though. Oh yeah, Nate is a faithful listener. I was on. Please keep your ear out because we're probably all going to be on his YouTube pretty soon. Yeah, okay. But anyway, that's in the works. But Nate had me on the other day, and he told me that he said, "I love Brothers Just Searching. I've learned so much." And I told him we've learned a lot too. Let's just say that.
Yeah, some things I didn't even know.
Right. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that probably love us, that listen to us all the time.
I don't know about after this episode, but anyway.
Some might like it.
Yeah, some might like it. This might be our best video yet.
A bunch of conspiracy nuts.
Now, if Alex Jones endorses, we wouldn't denounce that.
We don't claim him. No.
So.
It's kind of like some of your relatives. We don't know them, but we don't claim them.
So. Anyway, guys, until next week.
Okay.
Be blessed. Be encouraged. Also, if you have not yet, again, hit that subscribe button and go ahead and follow us on Apple, Google, or Spotify. You can follow us on YouTube. Remember to hit the bell and hit the subscribe button. Before we roll, I don't know how much time we have left. I'm going to try to squeeze this in. We want to thank everyone that listens to this podcast. We
Yes.
We do a lot of work to get this podcast going. A lot of people see us just sitting down with a microphone, but a lot of people don't see the editing that goes behind it. They don't see the
studying.
The studying. They don't see the time consumed on this podcast. And we're not saying that to say, hey, look at us, we're better than everybody else. No, we just want to let you know that we appreciate, because it's fun getting together every week. We've been doing this for almost 2 years now. We are 8 episodes shy of 100 episodes. Boogie, we did not think we would get to 100 episodes.
Nope.
Well, we had a theory like, yeah, we hope we can get to 100 episodes.
Yeah.
But we finally got to 100 episodes. We're getting on to our 2-year mark. And us, like I said, we like getting together and having Bible study. And this is how it all,
Yeah, just like a Bible study.
And Bowen, how many times you came to the house and we just sat down and we had hours and hours of conversations. And we said, man, we wish people could have heard that.
Yeah.
And that's what this was built around.
Yeah.
Of us coming together, of thoughts and things that we've studied and bringing it out. And that's why we record it. It's for your benefit, our benefit. And we just want to thank y'all, because there's some people from day one, 2 years ago, that have been listening faithfully. And we want to thank Hayes' Dump Truck Service. We want to thank New Beginnings Fellowships. We want to thank, Coteau Holmes Fellowship. Recently, we want to thank Nate Savage, because, like I said, Nate wanted me on that interview. Yeah, we did talk politics, but at the same time, we talked about Brothers Just Searching. We've had listeners that contact me and said, listen, we are listening to y'all because of Nate Savage. Nate has been promoting us. So we have people that have been faithful listening, and we appreciate what y'all doing. Prayer, support. There's even though I'm going to thank people that supported us financially. There's some people that gave us blessings to buy new mic stands, to buy cameras. The camera system that y'all watching us on YouTube right now, that was a blessing. And we just want to thank y'all for what y'all doing. So, you had something to say before we roll off?
I just want to say to the people that listen, sometimes you got to chew the meat and spit the bones out of what you hear. Yeah. So, when you listen to us, don't get mad and get angry. Just take what you know to be true, and whatever you don't agree with, throw it out. I mean, that's the way you do it.
Yeah, and look, like I said, we're not afraid to ask people to come on here. We did the series in the Roman Catholicism, and we had a good friend, now a good friend to the podcast. We talk to him every so often.
Right.
He contacted us. We talked, me and LB, we went ahead and talked to him, and we said, man, this would be a good podcast. Let's go. And he came on the podcast. He didn't have no podcast. He didn't have no media platform. Now, he called us, and look, he was thrilled. But there was something different about us. He said a lot of people you talk to and you try to, they get offensive and they want to hurt and prove you wrong. We went ahead and dived in the Word of God with him. And it just, look, I do that politically. I'm lining up something right now where I'm going on a podcast that I'm doing a study on, not totally conservative. Well, if I go ahead and stay in my little bubble and tell everybody what I think and bash everybody else and not sitting down talking with some people, and look, I'm going to disagree with a lot of what they say, but hey, I'm going to give my point of view. They can give my point of view. We're going to be respectful, hopefully. And that's how a lot of people, with different views on the Bible, that's how they, like you said, both spit out the meat, eat the meat and spit out the bones. Because if you try to chew that bone too much, you're going to choke. But anyway, I just want to thank everybody. We couldn't do this without y'all. We couldn't do that.
All right.
As I said on the Cajun Conservative, your family. No matter who you are. And we always welcome in new families. We love everyone over here. So,
yeah.
All right. So for Anthony, for Bowen, and myself, thank you again. Until next week, be blessed, be encouraged, and remember, Jesus is coming back. Are you ready? If not, contact us. We'll tell you how to get ready. Until next week, God bless.